You approve of this music? It's from Tempest Rising. It's by Marky Music. He did some really cool Quake Champions fan tracks, fan themes. That was really good back in the day. It's nice that he's working on some games where he's an official participant rather than just a fan guy. He's good. If we're doing power rankings, I'd put Jeffrey Day above him. I prefer his production a bit more, but Marky Music is still very good. I think a few people worked on Tempest Rising. What's his name? The guy who actually worked on Command & Conquer? The music? The guy who did Hell March and that stuff worked on it? Maybe Mick Gordon as well. I don't know. It's possible. It's possible. Frank Kaplecki. That's the one. That sounds about right. Kind of Polish sounding name. Oh, Klepaki? Whatever. It's all Polish to me, okay? I bought a Polish sausage today. Every once in a while when they're on sale, I'll buy a big one and then just, like, you know, slice discs off of it to nibble on. You know how it is. Maybe. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're not a sausage enjoyer. Which makes me sound gay. Is Mutahar going to stay silent about people calling him out? Maybe. Doesn't matter that much. It would be very fun if he didn't. It would probably be a mistake not to, because it's lose-lose. I need people to, like, I don't need people to, but it's fun if you understand. He either fails to address it and loses. He either doesn't give info and loses. Or he gives info, and even if he successfully defends himself on some counts, he loses because he's given up a shroud he wanted to maintain. Lose-lose, no matter what. The only, or stay quiet, and if he was capable of not giving a fuck, if he just ignored it, he'd win. But from what I've seen a great deal of, I don't think he's capable of not caring. So actually it's lose, lose, lose. Give me Snorb. Did I scam you again? Here I go scamming again. True, Twitch event sub, whatever, is disconnected. Let me try to reconnect. Renew it in Twitch connections. I'm trying to. I'm doing my best. I'm clicking connect to Twitch. Okay, it's fine. Watch this. Let me grant access to Sammy. Connect to Twitch. Should be good now. And I will launch a manual sorbet for you. Is that working? It should be working now. Every few months or whatever. Yeah, I never remembered that there are two of them, okay, man? Jake, the polls all look the same to me. I don't know the fucking difference between them. I pinned a comment that pointed that out, so hopefully that's enough to correct my heinous misinformation. I don't fucking know that shit. I got a strike today, boys. Well, I didn't get a strike. I had that PDFs have a new strategy video. 30 minutes after the most recent video was uploaded, I got an email saying a video has been removed from YouTube. Community guidelines. No actual strike, they just removed it. No actual strike, they just removed it. Slap on the wrist. Not even a slap on the wrist, just a removal. Wasn't that months ago? No! If you're mean to pedophiles, YouTube will punish you. Simple as. Simple as. And that video was literally just talking about pedophiles and their strats. Remember when Tim said he would double upload from here on? I auto-upload on multiple platforms. What do you mean? Is that not what you mean by double upload?
Nobody told me.
What is this? In Mutahar's defense? What is this? You're never gonna guess what color this. I can't say that on Twitch.
Learning about stuff.
Oh. It's gone forever? I think it's on Twitter. Whatever. I am. You're pretty sure you're supposed to have a strike if YouTube deletes videos of yours. Not true. The first one you get is a warning. And then after they run out, the warning stays, but they might not give you a strike. They say, how this impacts you. You previously received a warning for your content. We're not giving you a strike this time, but we removed the content from YouTube. You can still upload, post, and live stream. It is what it is. Skin mode. It's literally me. Nicandros has been dominated. Okay. Nicandros has been destroyed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to inform you. We'll go over it. How sex changed the internet. Don't let Anita Sarkeesian off the hook. Who gives a fuck? Stop. Watch out, guys. She'll come and get rid of Metroid this time. It literally doesn't matter. Let her off the hook. It just doesn't matter. If you want to laugh at her, sure. Like, if you want to laugh at her, sure, but talking about her being on or off the hook doesn't matter. What is this? The reason we even have online payment processors is because of sex work. It was invented to pay for porn. I'm sure that's the only way it could come into existence, and I'm sure that's 100% true. Amrita Sarkeesian, if that one guy we watched is to be believed. Oh, I've only seen a few comments. As I explained, I just, like, when I go to my YouTube dashboard, I see the most recent 3. But some of the comments, I'm happy with the comments in my video. Because there are comments where people are like, what are you even insulting, or what are you even criticizing? Oh. Oh, man. If you watch the first 30 seconds and, like, that's normal to you, your dad touched you. Like, there's no... Oh, it's so good. Pretty good. Anyway. Call Jim, call Milo, call Sargon. We're gonna marry Anita Sarkeesian. Gamergate 6, chicks with dicks. I guess it kinda, like, 5 guys, burgers and fries. 6 chicks. Adam's apples and dicks. I don't know. Something like that. Nobody told me Turkey Tom and Mutu were breeding. Okay. Nicandros has been shot down. This is why you never... Look. Never try to be a face. Only be a heel. Never... Never try to say, look, the law says this is wrong. Just stick to, this guy's a hilarious gay retard. What are you going to do against that? There's nothing you can do. This is petty, yeah? What are you going to do?
Nobody told me that Turkey Tom and Muda were breeding. Welcome back to Slop Pre-Recorded. Recently, a Russian YouTuber by the name of Nicandros made a video.
I don't know if that is meant to be a joke, or if he thinks Nicandros is Russian.
We're talking about how Mudahar has been a fake engineer for the past 10 years. Now, how do I know that he's Russian? Well, if you go to his YouTube statistics, it says that he's based out of Finland, and as we all know, all Finnish people are secretly Russian spies. In this video, Nicandros...
Fair enough, you got him. Fair enough.
claims that Mudahar has been lying about being an engineer for the past 10 years, and is actually a bum-ass college dropout. And today, I will be defending my...
You're not going to be able to defend the bum-ass college dropout allegation, because that's what Mutu says about himself. Just saying.
Father, acting as his lawyer and seeing where the truth actually lies. And I think I can give a very nuanced take on this, because...
Whaler, that's the immediate vibe, isn't it?
I actually graduated with a
Why did you link this?
degree in mechanical engineering from UBC in Canada, so I actually understand kind of what the laws and regulation are around this. And being his protege, I know that my man...
Protege. You do really appear to be his protege. Because you can't speak fucking English. Not his prodigy. Fuck you. That's like an AI tell. That's like an AI tell. You didn't even write this.
is innocent.
He has this weird thing where he needs to act like cool and that he's so successful and rich. He tells Boogie, dude, why don't you upload more? I upload every day and YouTube's not even my job. I was like, shut the fuck up, bro. I think he thinks his real job is being a day trader. I might be wrong about that, but I mean, that's pretty funny. But like, yes, it is. Shut up, bro. Uploading every day. Ugh, I really got turned off by Mudahar in that one, man.
You ask any guy who's unemployed or got fired what he does, he'll tell you that he's a day trader. He's learning about stocks.
No, I'll tell you he has a podcast, actually. You're, wrong.
Into cryptocurrency. He's trying to learn the investing market. This is just regular dude behavior, and I don't really see anything wrong with this. The fact of the matter is, this actually probably makes him more relatable and more like a normal person. So charge...
It's a joke video. Shunting around vast piles of cash makes him very relatable.
Is dismissed.
Engineer. I'm a computer engineer. No, I'm a computer engineer, okay? I'm a fucking computer engineer. I'm a computer engineer.
In the United States, people throw around the word engineer like candy, but in Canada, it's a bit more protected, especially in Ontario where Mudahar lives. Now, I do want to give the disclaimer that I'm not a lawyer or a Canadian. I'm just a guy who looks stuff up online, and based on what I've read, it's actually illegal to call yourself an engineer if
Did you fucking boost Nicandros?
You are not a licensed engineer.
So Nicandros is correct here. So the way it works in Canada is that engineering is a protected term. You cannot call yourself an engineer unless you're registered as what's known as a professional engineer. And the way you become a professional engineer is that you first graduate with a degree in engineering, mechanical, civil,
Mudahar raped by his own son.
Electrical, biomedical, whatever it may be. Then you work as what's called an engineer in training for 4 years under a professional engineer. After those 4 years of experience, you send in your application to your province's engineering board. In BC, it'd be EGBC, and they will review your work history with that company under that particular professional engineer. And if you satisfy all the requirements...
Is Mudahar even in Canada? I asked that before. It didn't matter for the purposes of what I was going to talk about, but...
Within that time frame, and they conclude that you have the right amount of experience, you would be considered a professional engineer yourself. So Mudahar legally cannot call himself a professional engineer. We'll take the L on this one.
Job is video editing. I'm a video
Lock him up. Case closed.
editor by trade. No, I'm video editor. You know, that's how I pay for the strip club.
There's a problem. So in the Canderous, you say Jew stalker. Is that like people insulting him, or is that actually what his name is? I don't know enough about him to know if that's like is that an insult to him, or is that what it is? Gestalk. What? But it's an insult. But the thing is, if you don't call him Jew stalk, what do you call him? Gestalk? Eastuk. You point out that he's a Canadian and he agrees with you. Now, you might typically think, oh, someone from a place will be familiar with their local laws, and that may normally bear some weight. There's a problem. When you're talking about people from Canada, they're Canadians, which means they're always wrong.
In the home.
And initially called himself a video engineer.
I'm a video engineer now. I think I know how this shit fucking works.
It's not a real engineering job, but he was still calling himself an engineer. In 2019,
Presumably the defense would be, because it's not a real engineering job, there's no risk of him misleading people into thinking he has such an accreditation. Is that going to be the defense? Because that's what I
he
was thinking.
conflated being a video engineer with being a computer engineer.
I'm a computer engineer, so I really a video engineer, whatever you want to call it. I'm one of those people, so...
Again, totally different qualifications. One is an actual professional engineer, the other is a job title.
So in defense of Mudahar and being very generous to him, video software.
You have to be insanely generous, because you can't just take that chunk out of Nikanderous's video, because that works alongside the point that he just plainly calls himself an engineer. That reinforces the idea that the specific thing he calls him doesn't, and if that's what he is, a video engineer or whatever, if that's correct, that further reinforces the fact that he can't just go around saying, I'm an engineer.
Engineer actually is a real position that companies will post. So I have an example right here. In Markham, Ontario, by Infotree Global Solutions, video software engineer, and what it involves is working with C++, doing video processing, encoding and decoding, and working with things like DirectX. So
it is also, as Sherds noted, it's video software engineer.
It's a real position. He could have worked it, but the evidence is pretty damning here for my father. But I'm pretty sure, if you give him the benefit of the doubt, I'm sure he can come around to it.
Additionally, why is he calling himself that? He's given some details on what he's done. Has he ever held that job title? Ostensibly not. Perhaps as a self-employed individual he gave himself that role.
There's another point to be made where he talks about how they shouldn't be able to call themselves software engineers because, well, they didn't graduate in like any of the other engineering disciplines, like computer science degree people can't be called engineers. Well, actually, this is something that tech companies have been fighting on in Canada. So in Alberta, this was a thing where tech companies calling on Alberta Premier to intervene in battle over software engineer titles. And so what essentially was happening was that in the US, a lot of,
Yeah, very interesting, but my man Mutahar only started calling himself an engineer when he wanted to impress people more. Prior to that, he just called himself a programmer in relation to the same jobs.
Software engineers are literally called
100% certified gay.
Software engineer. That will be their title. But in Canada, you have to call them software developers. And the
really?
tech companies were making was they can't get these software engineers.
I thought it was gonna say that there was some success, because I noticed on that website it said, niche exceptions will be carved out, but okay.
From America to come over because they would have to be called software developers, and this may seem like a small little thing, but it actually really matters. when you're trying to hire the top talent, because when they search for jobs, they're not going to look for software developer in accordance to, you know, Canada. They're going to look at software engineer because that's what most of the US uses, and that's the mainstream.
I think feasibly as well. It could, or they could at least fear that it would cause them problems down the road, right? On your CV, you've got software developer. It might cause a future employer, let's say you go back to the US, to be like, what the hell's that? What's up with that? Why that? I don't know.
Thing that everybody in the US, which is the
People are very particular about job titles. People care a lot. I've always been self-employed and worked through agencies. But via my girlfriend's more corporate career, I'm aware of a lot of the insane politics. Is this a Mutahar Cope vid? Not really. The title is basically clickbait because it's not a polemic. It's not a polemic against Nicandros, and it's not a full defense. I wouldn't even necessarily say it's a joke vid. It's a vid with jokes because he is. It's a video that presents itself as if it's going to be a strong defense, but it's really just a middle of the road being fair, and ends up mostly so far on Nicandros' side.
much larger market would call them. So it's one of those things where it's not enforced as highly as people think. If you were to call yourself a mechanical engineer, I think that'd be more issue. But software engineer is one of those like little gray areas where I think, you know, Engineers Canada and EGBC are more willing to let slide. And there are like special circumstances. Like I know that sometimes if you
and also this is why sometimes I worry about getting into legal stuff, even if I think I'm right, because you risk sort of getting mired. Also, as Nick points out, he said various different varieties of engineer, where people will engage with it in legal terms, where the value of Nicandros bringing this up is to plant in people's minds that there's something illegitimate about him claiming that title, rather than him suggesting litigation is necessary. But people are going to be drawn towards theory crafting litigation and likelihood of litigation. Although I can't really talk, because a lot of my videos are always just like, look at this, it's fucking cringe. So a lot of people are going to go, no, that felt good to me, so it's not cringe. Which is its own mire. But just, those people should die, so.
If you're creating software for...
Thank you, Benjiado. Would I join one? If I was offered a massive amount of money, sure. Otherwise, no. I feel like I'm too small for that to be valuable. And then once I'm big enough for that to have any value, I would prefer to simply remain independent because I don't need to.
Like highly specialized aerospace applications, you have to get what's called a software engineering like credential from EGBC or Engineers Canada to be able to make that software. So you could give them some leeway here, but
there's some fun stuff about Mutahar I didn't include, but I can mention. I read that, Nicandros. Let me check that again. Hang on. And description, use of engineer or engineering, and description of services or activities that fall within the practice of professional engineering. That and makes me think they're only going to care if you're doing it, if you're making that claim attached to doing something. I don't know that you're going to like sick them on to someone just sort of like that's why I was interested in it being associated with an ad. That wouldn't be a problem for these guys. Or maybe it would be. I don't know. I know for like Advertising Standards Agency in the UK, I know for the FTC in the US, claiming accreditation in an advert that you legitimately can't, is a big fucking no-no, but I don't know about Canada. So I didn't go into it.
The evidence is looking a little damning, but, I believe in my father. I know he can beat the charges, he's like Diddy.
Okay, it is a joke. Okay, you're right. It's a joke video. I thought it was just a more exciting title, and he was trying to be balanced. But when you're comparing your dude to Diddy in the defensive video, it's a joke.
Har, I call him. Diddy Har will beat the charges.
Apparently his dad calls him an engineer who knows computers.
I'm sitting in the room, it's like, when it comes to computers, do you talk about it with my son? Do you act like an intelligent person? Because my son's a fucking engineer, okay? If I'm wrong about computers, I'm gonna believe what my son says, because he's
To be clear, I'm trying to get Mutahar honor killed by having his dad realize he has sired someone who is not an engineer.
the fucking engineer, not a doctor. Like, fucking insane, dude.
But he also just sits at home and invests.
Stop saying Diddyhar, I'm gonna laugh every time. Did you know that Mutahar claimed he can do a professional level rough cut of an entire television show in 2 hours? Did you know his claims about his abilities and experience in film are actually really fucking insanely suspect?
Money.
Did you know that? Did you know that angle?
I invest. That's my job now. I just sort of sit home and invest money.
Now, if I
Did you know them? He said he's traveled to, Tokyo, Dubai, or various places to do editing for film production. But when you dig into the examples of these places, he seems to have gone there, but every time he says there's a personal reason alongside a professional reason to go there.
was ashamed of only being
Like there's some stuff out there.
a YouTuber, that is the job I'd be claiming to have.
So I do think there's a little bit of disingenuous.
Do you want to know what's insane, by the way? Where the fuck is his portfolio? Like, what the fuck?
Invest money.
Now, if I was ashamed of only being a YouTuber, that is the job I'd be claiming to have.
So I do think there's a little bit of disingenuous clipping that we're doing here. So one of those clips is obviously Muda referring to the past, and the other one is Muda referring to the present. So I mean, it kind of makes sense, in the past. Let's say he was this, so
Why? What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Gas.
yeah, okay. Some of these clips is obviously Muda referring to the past. Maybe he did work as a video encoding developer, software engineer, what do you want to call it?
Right, but we have him. We have him on record telling us what the jobs are that he worked prior to abandoning that career path.
For a little bit, and then nowadays, now that he's a YouTuber, he's making money with that YouTube money, and he just sits on his ass and day trades, which kind of fits, and I would like to be a bum ass YouTuber too and do this. So please subscribe.
As a boss, and I don't know, like this is gonna sound like kind of cold, but I don't make jokes at the office. I don't make any fucking jokes at the office. I am not this kind of Mutahar, okay? So
I would never joke in a corporate environment.
to
It's pretty
explain
good.
what kind of person I am, like at the office, I'm just like, how's work? What are we doing? What's the plan for today? Like literally, it's as matter of frank as I can be. I don't partake
Oh, I forgot Matter of Frank.
in jokes. I don't do any of that fucking
Oh,
shit. And if I see fucked up jokes, which I haven't seen, I stop that shit right there. I always have to, you always have to be professional at your office. And sometimes you come across as, like, a deadpan motherfucker, but it's better to be deadpan then
When he puts on the suit, he becomes ruthless.
you know, turn your office into like what I mean is like I never would have my office turned into like frat house workplace. Like it would never be a frat house.
Okay, so this is really hard to defend. At my company, I'm pretty much the court jester. I will make a joke every chance I get, and it's gotten to the point where my bosses tell me, "Hey, can you like be a little more professional and serious?" And at this point, I think they've just completely given up and accepted that this is who I am, which is interesting because we cure cancer. That's not a joke. I think this is just Muda being a bit of a boomer. If you ask any boomer, you know, how you should act at a job, they'll be like, "Oh, you should act."
No, it's not. He's blatantly lying. I don't think the point of Nicandros including that was to say, look how stuffy he is. Nick included a follow-up where he's talking about a betting pool for... It was something irreverent. It was fucking who's gonna be the first TikTok guy to die. Something like that. I don't remember.
Act like you have a fucking stick up your ass. You know, you gotta.
Which kick streamer is gonna be the first to die? Yeah.
Do what your boss says. You can be very professional. You know, and that's a very beta mindset. A beta adapts to.
Fair enough. He's failed to engage with your point, but instead has called Mutahara beta. I'll take it.
His environment. Well, me, I'm an apex predator. You know, I dominate the situation, and I make.
Don't say
environment
predator.
Adapt to me. So you know.
Don't call Sauce Fiend. Don't call yourself an office predator. I'm a predator in the cubicle.
Look, you know, the apple falls very, very far from the tree in this scenario, you know, and in this situation, I became an even bigger tree. Not like vertically because I'm only 5'5", and I think Mudahar's 6'2", but you know, definitely horizontally. I think that I have definitely I'm all in a cut, so and the lighting's bad.
World's strongest Indian.
So I look bigger in person. I hope these jokes are landing because this is the best I got. You're not getting anything better than this, and there's no YouTuber better than me. Gunahar. Ooh, Diddy Har. Diddy Har. Diddy Har. Diddy Har. I don't know.
This is Nicandros, I'm sorry, this is way better than your video. Like, how do you recover from this?
Diddy Har.
That's it, it's done. You just need a 5-second clip of going Diddy Har.
Diddy Har.
That's it, it's over.
Diddy Har. I don't
Talk about social battery. Like 7 is when I get up. I got to be in meetings every fucking day. My work day doesn't end until like 4 p.m. That's when I get.
In a vacuum, that's such a good line. My workday doesn't end until 4 p.m. is just an amazing line in a... My workday doesn't end until 4 p.m.
like a chance to open up the Premiere Pro project file for the video, and I get to work on that, and then I get to upload.
He talks a bit like Brianna Wu. Do you hear it?
Open up the Premiere Pro project file for the video, and I get to work on that, and then I get to upload that a day later. Like, I don't believe in days off. Like, I literally can't believe in a day off. Like, I'm always like jittery.
Unless he has cancer. He'll take a day off if he believes he has cancer.
I'm like, I want to do work. Like, I really do like enjoy doing work. Like, any day that I don't feel like I do my job, fucking cry about it. I'm like, this fucking sucks.
He works till 4 p.m. every day and cannot take a day off. However, he seemed
Working 9 till 4.
pretty happy to take a day off to watch a video game commercial from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on a
No. That's work. That's work.
Thursday.
Look, I get it. Mudahar's doing the whole hustle bro thing. You know, he wakes up, he browns the bed, he takes his cold.
Fucking what?
Look, I get it. Mudahar's doing the whole hustle bro thing. You know, he wakes up, he browns the bed, he takes.
What the what is browning the bed? Grok, what is browning the bed? The term browning the bed refers to the practice of turn-down service where bed linens are prepared for the evening by folding back the top covers. No fucking way. Are you serious? What?
His cold plunge, he jelk edge, Mew takes his pre-workout, and he's off to work. But, you know, look at this. He's not working this day. You know, Buddy likes to take a day off, you know? Come on, this is not a big problem, you know? I shit the bed sometimes and call sick to work, you know? And I did that shit on purpose, so, you know, you can...
Oh, he's not referring to preparing the bed. He is talking about shitting the bed.
Can you really blame me? Can you really blame him? Not really. Case... Wait, no. Charges dismissed, I think.
He knows how to program video encoders. He knows graphics APIs and AI tools in 2019. What does he know in 2025? What can he add?
One of the code bases that we're looking at over here is...
Sourcefiend's gonna go, these are different things. These are different.
falling
These are
apart.
different.
Now, there's a lot of numbers that are being dropped in here, and one of the things that you'll tend to see in Pirate Software's code is magic number abuse.
Nothing unique, nothing new, nothing that Coding Jesus didn't say in his video, which Mutaha keeps mentioning.
Yeah, so I think that's probably the weakest point that he's made so far. There's only so much code that Pirate Software like makes publicly available about Heartbound, and there's only so much you can say about a piece of code. Like, what else would Mutahar say about this? Like, I consider myself a pretty decent programming. I do it at work.
The real counter is provide an example of him giving novel commentary.
I'm not a software engineer though. Yo, relax, bro. I'm just a regular technician who sometimes codes on the side. But
additionally, having watched some of that video, he has very clearly not independently found himself making this commentary. It is obviously a regurgitation of a bunch of videos he watched.
You know, there's not much to be said here. There's nothing much you could add, you know, especially when you're doing code reviews too. Like, you know, most of the things you can kind of let slide. So, you know, it's one of those situations where I think Nikaros, if that's your real name, isn't really making like an argument. It's just like, he should have said more. Like what? I don't know. I'm gonna come. Do not come. Ugh, I'm coming. I'm so quirky and random, am I right, guys? XD. Oh, so quirky and random.
Now, as a video editor, I do more engineering now, so back-end programming for effects work. I'm working on a new codec for video right now for H.265, so we can actually transmit better video quality at higher resolutions. I'm actually doing something which I want to sell to Microsoft at some point.
The sort of almost, I don't know, slapstick editing comedy is really good. As far as I'm concerned, he's done right there. The second you say that, it's over.
So I've been designing AI toolset that basically...
If you talk like that to me in real life, I'll tell you to kill yourself. Because, like, people are constantly talking about, oh, the internet, it's so censored, you can't say anything there. It used to be the home of free speech, blah, 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 where you could do anything. It's real life. If you're confident you're not being recorded, you can say fucking anything. You can say all sorts of stuff you can't say online. You talk to me like this, I'm going to tell you to kill yourself. I'm going to threaten to rape you. Be advised.
You can inject, hopefully, you can inject into like...
What are you going to do? Ban me from the city? No one will believe you. In fact, real life incentivizes you to say the most insane, violent shit imaginable. So that if they ever report you, you're like, that's crazy, this guy's nuts. Why would anyone say that? Do you have it on record? Why the hell would I say that? It's insane.
Video tools, and this is gonna be like video games or whatever, right? So it's like, let's say that Microsoft backwards compatibility, right? So I had this tool idea. This is kind of what I got.
Force an entire ferret into his urethra. What the fuck? Why would you say that to me? Of course I didn't say that to him. I don't want to hear about that.
Not going in my head. So I have this idea, and I hope to one day sell it to Microsoft. Right? So what I do is, since I have a really good video background, right? I've been designing neural stuff around it. So what I want to do one day is, you know, Microsoft has backwards compatibility, right? So would it be really fun if I could design a way that Microsoft could take the textures
We need a Bill Gates hat in Team Fortress 2. I'd play it again.
in their video games, right? So they could take the textures mapped in their video games and find a way to AI upgrade them. So
Upgrade.
Like basically use a
Upgrade.
fucking photo AI, like basically use an artificial intelligence that can scan across, all these textures and just fucking upscale them to like 4K, 8K, whatever they want to go to, and make games look better.
Turn this. Make a short of this.
Without needing, developers to make it better, right? That could be an idea for me. It sounds simple on paper. Obviously, it's very, very, very fucking time consuming to make it even as effective as you want.
Another classic unemployed guy activity. You become an entrepreneur when you have no.
If you struggle to fit it in, like maybe have some like empty space or your avatar at the bottom, so that you can crop it to have it. You know what I'm saying.
Job, and you come up with business ideas that you work on for a few months before you finally have a stable source of income. Again, nothing wrong here. Charges dismissed. Regular dude shit.
Let's check.
Dementoid. It's not just a regular dude shit if your buddy in real life is saying that to you. Not regular dude shit if you're broadcasting it to hundreds of thousands. Okay? Difference.
Out some of those.
He's not your brother. He's not your family. He's not just a guy. You're looking at a video he published onto the internet. Different.
Comments. We love reading the comments from regular commenters like Mr.
No.
Obvious. I wonder what he's into.
Mr. Obvious says, my feel win, I might as well be all for. And then we see some lolly here, featuring some underage characters. Here's 2 more drawings of underage characters posted by Mr. Obvious.
Source Fiend, don't say it's guilt by association, because it's not. He's not saying he's guilty for
Kinda
it.
strange, isn't it? Mr. Obvious says boys heart emoji. And then underneath that, we can see a photo of an underage girl who is pulling anal beads out of her anus using her feet. That's quite the talent.
Oh.
So he goes and randomly exposes this commenter for no apparent reason. It is hilarious in the video.
No, parrot, come on.
I don't think this is any way related. You can't really hold the comment.
False. Objection. Mutahar considers Mr. Obvious to literally be his family member.
Liable for the actions of the creator. I guess he's trying to say Mutahar is actually Diddyhar, and that's the joke I made earlier in the video, you fucking guy. Stop taking my bits.
The truth will soon be revealed. Remember to subscribe to see it when it drops. Next time, things are gonna be
He better not cry at the rape mode.
a little bit
This is the final test.
different.
The final challenge. So that's the way he ends the video. I don't really know what that implies. I mean,
You don't know what rape is.
I know I've been called
Fair enough, Office Predator.
like Mutahar Diddyhar this whole video, but it might actually be Diddy Andros. He's acting like he's 2013 KSI here. He also goes on this thing where he's like, Mutahar, you better be careful. What locations
Yeah,
you use?
it's so threatening. Better not be buying any more Switch 2s, boy. Mutahar is gonna have to order his Switch 2s from out of state now.
Talk about it, man. I'm gonna dox you, kind of like saying, he's like, look how easily anyone could dox you. You got to be careful. It's a little bit goofy, but
I mean, there's literally Toy Story music. Also, he really does need to be more careful about the information he puts out there, because he's more recently given a lot of information about where he lives. For real, be careful, bro. Like, what the... I don't care, but if someone did care, you might be in danger. Like, what the... This guy's like the fucking... Not this guy, Mutahar.
I guess he's trying to be...
Just even like skipping around, not even looking for details about where he lives. I'll be like searching particular terms related to you know, like claims about his film work and stuff in his public videos. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm just gonna fucking turn the camera and point it out my window.
Intimidating. Look, we're fat guys on the internet arguing about things that don't matter. It's not that deep, guys. Okay, let's keep it a buck here, right? None of us are gonna do anything to each other, even if our addresses are leaked. Okay. So looking at the case file, it can be seen that Nick Andros is portraying my father, Mudahar, to be something that he is not. He's proclaiming that Mudahar is actually Diddy-har. And as you know, Diddy walked free. So in that sense, so must my defendant, my client, walk free. And unless Mudahar makes a video talking about how all these things are correct and he might have misrepresented some things and, you know, apologizes, in which case this video is a complete joke and you should not take anything I said seriously.
You didn't really defend him though. Anyway,
but you should subscribe, you guy.
Very well. Stop killing games. You can help. Only for Europeans again. Sorry. I wish the UK government would have that disclaimer a bit more often. Anyway, what is this? Stop killing games. New option available to get law passed.
Hey everyone, I'm surprised how often I'm saying this these days, but I have big news on the Stop Killing Games campaign. This is not an exaggeration. We have a new option that could get new law introduced to start protecting games you've already paid for.
Yo!
Though it's only for Europeans. Again. Sorry, what can I say? Europeans seem to have all the options on consumer rights. I'll cut to the chase. The Digital Fairness Act in the EU has opened up for public commentary.
Did I sort by newest first? Did I do that manually? Sometimes when you do it, you'll see comments that aren't counted. Sometimes shit gets hidden, and when you sort by newest, it suddenly appears. Suddenly there are more comments.
Now, the Digital Fairness Act currently does not cover the problem of games being destroyed, but it covers a few issues adjacent to it. I'll get to them in a minute. So the strategy here, which has been suggested by the BEUC and some political insiders I've talked to, is to politely suggest, hey, maybe the Digital Fairness Act could swing a little to the left and protect video games while it's at it. As of the time of me recording this, there are 17 comments on its page. So if we had, say, a few thousand polite suggestions to include protecting video games from being destroyed, that might get the EU's attention.
SKG ends up failing because they literally DDoS the entirety of the EU's internet infrastructure, trying to leave comments.
From everything I've heard, this strategy has a real chance of working. I would not call this a long shot. I would say it's another one with maybe coin toss odds of being successful. And best of all, this is an additional option on top of everything else we've been doing. So the Consumer Protection Agency investigations in multiple countries, still happening. The European Citizens Initiative, still happening. Though seriously, hurry up if you haven't signed it and you're eligible. It ends in just a couple days. So let's go overkill and open up this new...
Where is it anyway? As in, like, what number we at? 1438? 681? Damn, okay. Cracked 1400.
Option.
By 1400, by 1400, I mean 1,400,000. Only off by a couple orders of magnitude there.
Though, again, it's only for Europeans. Sorry. But more people can participate in this than the Citizens Initiative. For example, some European countries aren't part of the EU, but they're EU adjacent. Like they'll share some policies with the EU or are actively trying to join it. So this is for all EU citizens, but if you're a citizen of Norway, Iceland, Turkey, or countries that are EU...
Why did you pronounce Turkey like that? Why did you do English pronunciation for all the other ones?
Ish? I've been told it's okay if you want to go and leave a comment on this also. Unfortunately, due to Brexit, that does not mean the UK. So UK commentary isn't going to help here. Sorry. So, what should you say? Well, that's up to you. This isn't meant to be a template letter. In fact, if everybody writes the same thing, that could get flagged as spam. So you really do have to put this in your own words.
You don't want that. You don't want that.
However, I've been given some guidelines. First, be polite.
Turkey has been pushing to be called Turkey. I'm hungry for meat. I think I'm gonna go down to the Turkish grill.
The EU is under no obligation to add our issue to the Digital Fairness Act. This is us making a request, so if you grouch at them, they'll probably ignore you. Second, ask if they can add protections against video games being destroyed that have already been sold to customers. If you have a personal experience with this, that's even better. If there was a game you liked that was destroyed, or if you're worried about a current game being destroyed due to it being online only with no end-of-life plan, you can tell them. Or you could bring up how hundreds of games have been...
So it's like a free therapist? Going to my therapist, talking about fear of loss of games I bought, always online.
...destroyed already, and hundreds more are at risk of being destroyed. There's been a community-made index of them here if you want to take a look. And of course, feel free to mention that the Citizens Initiative already has over 1 million EU citizens expressing support for protecting video games from being destroyed. That might give this a little more weight. Maybe avoid URLs though, since that might trigger spam filtering.
True.
You can just leave a sentence or two, or you can write a short essay. You have up to 4,000 characters to work with. Now, you do have to register in order to give a comment, but they give a few options here. Electronic ID, even Facebook and Google. Also, select EU citizen or non-EU citizen if you're Norwegian or something. Do not select consumer organization. Stop Killing Games is not an official organization. It's just a grassroots movement. Anyway, if you leave a comment on this, you could be opening up a whole new avenue to protect games. Let's make the topic of
If you shove enough comments in, the orifice will be gaped.
Game destruction impossible for the EU to ignore. The whole world has been ignoring this problem for 15 or so years, so we're making up for lost time here. Speaking of time, some good news. Unlike the European Citizens Initiative, which ends in a couple days, this is open until October 9th. So if you're watching this
Nice! So I can put it off for months.
late, you can still leave a comment and help protect games. In fact, I have no idea if the
When I go to Poland on the 25th of next month, should I find Ross and sign him with a Sharpie?
EU's website can handle a flood of people or not. So on the off chance it goes down, just come back later. So that's the main news. You can stop watching here if you want. But some of you may be wondering, what is the Digital Fairness Act? And why is this a good option for protecting
True.
games? A very relevant question.
It is whatever I want it to be. Brute force. Triumph of the digital will. Whatever.
Well, the Digital Fairness Act is a kind of hodgepodge of protections the EU is trying to push to rein in some bad practices occurring in the digital space. The big ones they mention are dark patterns in online interfaces, which is kind of weaponizing the GUI to do things customers don't want, addictive design of digital services that pushes users to spend more money, or hey, look at that! Gambling-like features in video games.
Oh.
See, this is what I mean. That's not the issue of Stop Killing Games, but it's totally in the same neighborhood. Personalized targeting, like if they were to push gambling ads on someone who's a gambling addict. I imagine something like that. Making it hard to unsubscribe from digital subscriptions, and problematic commercial practices of social media influencers. So what we're trying to do is add a number 6 here. Publishers permanently disabling video games they have already sold. I'm sure they'll word it differently,
It's
but
gone.
you get the
I'm going to Wrocław. Synth.
idea. We're trying to invite ourselves to the party here.
And then I'm going to hop over the border into Czechia to check out the stone city, all those pillars, that natural site, just for a day.
Now, I know what some of you are thinking, and that's, whoa, Ross. I'm someone who thinks we shouldn't have a lot of government interference. And this looks like a lot of government interference. I don't want games being destroyed, but I don't trust the EU not to go too far on this other
No. So, super player. I will defend Ross with my life. But I would never hang out with him. I must look but not touch. Because I would never wish upon him an association with me. I must protect him even from myself.
stuff. They could screw it all up. Well, guess what? You could be completely right, and I'm not trying to tell you otherwise. Stop Killing Games is single issue. We are only trying to stop
Is that an Islamic State dog whistle?
publishers.
Who is Ross? I'll give you one guess, Strat King. I'll give you one guess who Ross is. Who do you think?
From destroying video games you paid for. That's it. If we get that, then it's mission accomplished. All of this other
yeah.
stuff here is outside of our scope. So if you have strong opinions and all this other stuff, feel free to tell that to the EU also. See, the thing to realize is this stuff here is already set to happen. We had nothing to do with any of these proposals. But if there's a chance we can piggyback our issue onto legislation that's already happening with or without us,
Pirate Software voice. And that's dangerous.
oh, yeah, we'll take it. I mean, we're trying to keep Stop Killing Games contained to just the core issue. But with the industry lobbying against us and taking a pot shot at us behind the scenes, we'll take almost any help we can get. Anyway, I want to end this saying concern for government overreach is a valid concern, but only up to a point. For example, the issues in the Digital Fairness Act sound like good practices to rein in, but I
Not letting me just steal all of your intellectual property is government overreach. Games industry, I'm sorry.
could also imagine
In fact, it shouldn't be considered stealing.
scenarios where that backfired.
How about that? How'd you like that? Do you really hate government, or do you love government when it does what you want?
But saying that about Stop Killing Games has always rung hollow to me. Because I think the worst possible thing that can happen to gaming is games you like or want to play being destroyed forever.
He should do a sudden based turn. I think the worst thing that could happen to gaming is women being allowed to play them.
Well, that's already happened to the tune of hundreds of titles, and the industry is promising to put resources into killing many, many more.
Did I see a game called Cubes?
I mean, live service games don't have to be synonymous with titles that are destroyed forever, but that's what the industry does the vast majority of the time. Now, of course, gaming could get worse than it is now, but I don't think it could be on a worse trajectory. I brought
Holy shit, bro. People still think the UK is trying to censor you. Not exactly. People still think the EU is trying to censor you. Not exactly. They want to finger you. By which I mean, they don't necessarily care so much about you not being able to say it, but they want to be able to peg you saying it. And more than that, they want to be... So for now, they can get you if you say it. They want to be able to fucking get you for looking at it. They don't really want it to not be said. Ultimately, long run, sure. The measures being put in place are about getting you for looking at it. Understand this. It's important. It's an important distinction.
this up.
If you give in and are like, yeah, I really want to look at it and I'm not able to spoof this or get around this, I'll just put my face, I'll just attach my face to accessing this material. Just blow your brains out instead. You've lost. It's over. It's done.
Before, but I'll never let my audience forget it. If you want to know what the video game industry as a whole wants for us in the future, look no further than the original Xbox One reveal. Some highlights of that were no game sharing, needing to connect to the publisher every 24 hours or all your games would stop working, having every game you own on the platform be at risk of being completely...
God, I hated having to stand up every 10 minutes and saying, McDonald's! to get the game to keep playing.
Destroyed when support ends, even if you have physical copies, and having a mandatory surveillance camera that could detect biometric data like your facial expressions or heart rate, and would upload that data to the publisher. Now, they ended up backing off of some of that due to competition, but the industry tipped its hand there. This is the trajectory we're currently on. It's just slower now. It's the whole boiling frog metaphor. Microsoft's mistake.
EU digital wallet. I'm not familiar. Is that some kind of way of verifying your identity without exposing the details to each site or something? Or I don't know what it is. I'm just guessing.
Turn the heat up too fast. And it's not just them. Stadia had streaming-only exclusives. How do you get less ownership than that? Ubisoft has its infamous quote about players needing to get...
Consoles are straight fucking AIDS. It was hard to defend them before, but you could sort of say essentially it's sort of it's a specialized PC. You get more bang for your buck in terms of what you want for gaming. Kind of. Not anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. Now they're just shit PCs, okay? The entire point is just to entice you with software into buying hardware.
Used to not owning their games, and Blizzard killed a game they sold over 50 million copies of,
for
which
no
made them
reason.
billions of dollars, and they kept
artificial gating.
Everyone's
Fuck
money.
You.
So they were rewarded for that. And that's the path we're on right now without regulation on this issue. So if we don't get regulation, the industry is promising to kill more of our games. But if the regulation backfires, uh-oh, what's going to happen? The industry will still kill our games?
True.
So yeah, I'm not scared of the government making gaming worse than this. What the industry wants here already scares me more. All right, that's it.
Anyone you play with using a PC spends half their time troubleshooting. Vocord, do all your friends live in like a community home?
Last call to go sign the EU initiative and first call to go comment on the Digital Fairness Act. Let's get it done.
Bazinga. I was directed to this re-upload of this fellow's video. The way it was described to me is that this is a man admitting to being a domestic abuser for absolutely no reason. Does anyone know if that's accurate? Hexathian will know. This is the second one. Oh, this is a follow-up? This is all I was sent. Maybe this person will have a backup.
$174 y'all, dude. Oh my fucking god, dude. Oh my fucking god. And not one of y'all can help me, dude. Oh my god, dude. I literally just hate my fucking life. Fucking much, dude.
Fair enough. I understand being upset. My cameraman murdered his family. Hang on, that's too enticing. I love a good murder. Nothing like it. Oh, it's this guy. The dad guy. Is that Salt Bay on the left?
Welcome to a different video. I feel like I say that a lot now. You may be familiar with my grave.
Wait, you're telling me this is the correct one? Whatever.
Stories series where I cover dark and spooky things, true crime, ghost stuff. I was a former gravedigger. I kind of fascinated with spooky, scary stories. This is, I don't even know if I can categorize this as that. This is a very sad, dark story. And it's different this time because this time it involves someone I knew, someone I worked with.
Okay.
I don't even know how I'm going to get into this, but I guess here we go. This is the story of a man I knew who murdered his family.
Well, he's going to have more time to work. As long as they don't kill you. Like, cameraman killed his family. Alright, so now you don't need to take Thursday off. Hang on! What do you mean you need to take the morning off to drive your kid to school? I remember what you did! Don't try and trick me, you naughty...
I don't really have a script for this episode. I'm just going to tell you the event.
I don't really have a script for this episode. I'm just going to tell you. He's got quite a dry vocal fry. Mine's wet.
As they happened and as I know them to have happened. So
is that what happens when you're a smoker? Is it smoker stuff?
Here we go. Sam Haskell was a man that I worked with over the years. You've seen the videos I've done with him, my Stupid Idiot series where I was at the school as a gym teacher, my Skittles commercial where I was a spokesperson for Skittles. He's actually in my Keith Abacary Ninja Turtles music video. We dressed him up as Dolph Ziggler because he had blonde hair. So Sam was the guy who owned a Red camera.
So you drove him to it?
When I made stuff with Maker Studios, I had a producer, and Maker Studios had like DPs and just like this whole crew of everyone that would film videos for YouTubers. And I was one of those YouTubers. Sam was the guy who owned the camera and would rent it to the team of people to film these videos. And he always came with the camera. He was a DP, but he never really filmed the videos. There's always another DP that filmed it. Sam would just get like paid for the camera. He didn't even have to be there, but he always was there, especially on my shoots. He was a fan of mine. He used to talk to me all the time. He loved video games. He liked Keith Abacary. So he'd always be around. So I knew him basically as like the camera guy. He was a unique guy. He was a little different. For example,
I have to agree with the speed up. I might not do 2 times. 1.5.
There was a time where my friend Paul and I, who directed a lot of the videos I did, Paul and I went to his house to pick up footage from a video we shot. We went there to his house, and the house was like really big. It was like a mansion, basically. The room we went into was just completely empty, like this big mansion with no furniture besides one desk with a computer and his Red plugged into it, where he dumped the footage and he would process the Red camera footage. And there was like nothing else in the room. And Paul and I were like, "What the heck? What is this? So strange?" He grew up in the entertainment industry. His dad was a really big agent.
I thought he was going to say he grew up in an empty house. I got to be honest with you. I don't give a fuck. Get to the killing. Get busy killing or get busy dying. Let's look at Greaseman.
What's up? So I want to try to explain to you guys what's going on through my head because it's pretty interesting. I
want to explain what's going on through my head because it's interesting. Good Dementoid signs immediately. I mean, just from appearances, he looks demented. But that intro, the first 8 seconds, okay.
I had to just go to my computer and hit record because I know I have to make this video. And not for the reason that you think I have to make this video, like I'm saving my reputation.
Highly dissociated.
But because if I don't make this video, I'm going to keep thinking about it. Like, for some reason, like...
Get the ice cream? I've got ice cream in the freezer. I've been enjoying the Nui, N-U-I-I ice cream sticks. I found that I got the peanut butter and maple syrup, and now I've got the dark chocolate Nordic berry, and they're good as hell. They're real good, actually.
Like 11 months ago when like everything went down with my channel, I've just been like contemplating the perfect video, that'll fix it all. I'll just say the right words and everything will go back to normal.
Is this Mr. Beast after meth? Do you see what I see?
I have learned since then that that is not reality, and I don't want it to be reality. So basically, I'm here making this video really for the reason that like I want to get certain information across to people who care. And I don't really know a better way to do that. You know, realistically, like, yes, I would love for this video to like make it so that like it's easy for me to just return, you know, go back to normal, what I was doing before, you know.
Okay.
But the reality is I could do that anyways. I'm in a good spot.
No, but actually, no matter what happens, no matter what you do, if you just produce enough videos, it doesn't matter.
Right now where artistically I'm confident enough in myself to where if I started making content, I believe that people would enjoy it enough to basically just assume on their own that I'm doing good. I really don't need a video telling them I'm doing good, you know, for them to understand it. Like,
okay, all right,
I could just go the sneaky underground.
Just do it. There's a famous man who said such a thing.
Mysterious artist route that, like, honestly, I've seen everybody do.
Not a fan of the
Everybody's
sibilants.
But I decided no.
It's trying to eat his fucking shoulder,
So,
apparently.
Despite how much I really am struggling.
Gotcha, Ardnet. The title Joe Nuts as the second one. Should I decide to check it out? Is it this one? Ostensibly not. Hang on. Could it be this one? Let's search. Achha. Thank you. He's dried out. He's floofed.
Bonzi01 fed the streamer a $5 superberry. I used to watch Brad, all he had to do was review music and take the superberries. Woman face bombing emoji.
I don't think I've ever found... Is he an instrumentalist? Is he one of these guys who, like, doesn't play music but talks about it? Or does he... Because I'm not familiar with him. Leet RSD. Oh, it's Rob. Oh, shit.
Since fed the streamer a RSD
Thank you.
1337 superberry. I've been to Wrocław once. Got robbed by 3 junkies at 3 a.m.
Nice.
but
Looking
I was
forward to it.
asking for it. Nice city though. Watch out for the gay dwarf.
That's a real thing, right? It's covered in bronze dwarves. Yes? He's listening to music on stream. I've never ever heard commentary on music from anyone who wasn't an instrumentalist that has been of any value to me whatsoever.
Let's talk. All right, let's start from the beginning of like where things went wrong. I went to a show. It was a live show in California. It was Ethan Klein and Hila Klein performing. I had backstage passes. I met them. I talked.
Backstage pass to Ethan and Hila. This guy's fucked up.
Talked with them. I related a lot to them, especially Hila, with her struggles with being Jewish right now, and like how like it's. How do I say this? See, it's like even now, like, I don't want to fucking talk about it.
Is he Jewish or is he just like
I really don't, you know? But what I want you to understand is that like my horrible response to this whole situation.
I don't want to hear about your struggles with being Jewish. I have a blocked nose. You wouldn't understand.
Is a long-term thing, or like is the result of a lot of stuff, you know? It's like the moment where things snap. It's not the moment where it's like everything went wrong, basically. So like at this time, you know, like I post a picture that I have with me, some friends, my fiance, Ethan and Hila Klein. And basically, I was like, yeah, I could post that. It's great.
This guy is in withdrawal from something. 100%. People are like, some people are like, he's cooked on something. I think it's withdrawal from something, the way he's behaving. I don't think he's on it.
You know, I didn't think it would be a statement. It was really stupid of me, because of course it's a statement. It's Ethan and Hila Klein. But I wasn't really ready for war. I wanted to back out. So like, I basically just went against them and said, you know what, I need to back out. I can't do this.
Rehab?
You know, this is too hot. And then everyone called me a pussy, which, I mean, to be fair, like, I kind of was. But also at the same time, I thought that my choice was understandable. Like, I had a family to take care of, you know? Like, I didn't want this to become my life. The problem is, it wasn't that easy to get out. So, yeah. You know, people are talking about it. I'm a hot topic. And my partner...
Not a sponsor, by the way. Not a sponsor.
Partner is freaking out because she's involved. You know, she's a part of the whole equation. And I start trying to, you know, say things to fix it. And when I try to help, it basically results in her screaming and crying that things are getting worse and that it's all my fault.
You okay? He's got those ceiling cats. I heard they're a growing problem in North America.
So I'm trying to, you know, keep my job, because I'm paying her a ridiculous amount of money, like $5,000 a month, to basically do nothing. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't have a problem with that. Like,
that doesn't sound like you're being honest with us.
Paying her $5,000 a month so she could, you know, lay around, smoke weed on the couch and be happy. Great. You know?
Doesn't sound like you think it's great.
But I don't think that she really respected me. I don't think she saw things in me that were like important for her to see. So it went really bad. Like, as soon as the picture was posted, it became me panicking, trying to fix it, and her basically getting angry at me trying to fix it.
There's so much lore.
I'd say
we'll see if this sets a spark off in me, and then maybe we'll dock out.
That everything reached an apex when she recorded me in my house.
Okay.
Yelling at her through the door. I was fucking pissed. I was just like mad because I'm trying to fucking figure everything out in like an impossible situation. You know, trying to get things back to normal so that like we could live a normal fucking life. And she repays me by recording me in my house without my knowledge. She sends it to my parents. She sends it to friends. She sends it to people who are associated with Hive Mind.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, and it's the biggest betrayal I've ever felt. I really like.
That's the kind of thing you do when you fucking escape. Did she like do that and stay?
I felt so violated. But like, she couldn't hear that because she looked up that it was legal to do that. You know, to like record me in that state. And because it was legal, it was moral to do that. You know? But like, man. You know, like at that point I was done with her. Like at that point I was like, this is fucked up. Like, I'm doing everything I can in this situation to make things work. I love you. but we're not going to be a good match.
What could she have recorded him doing that's worse than this?
So, yeah.
I haven't seen a Choco Taco in fucking years. Aren't they just gone? They don't do them anymore. They don't do them. You can't get them. You can't find them.
Yeah. I believe maybe like a week later, I was streaming. When I said, I remember I was like doing a stream and then I left. I go to the kitchen. I see her sitting on the couch, like screaming and crying, and I'm pissed off. Like, because like I'm trying to focus, you know, to get work done.
What is this bollocks? I don't really know yet. I've been told that this is great. I'm not seeing it.
And it felt like
he's certainly a strange fellow.
She was interrupting that. Now, here's the thing. What I want you to understand out of all of this, and remember how I said that it was all like, you know, it wasn't just this scenario happening, that this was like a long-term effect? Well, I was so obsessed with my work. I became like completely locked into that.
You're not going to like what I have lined up next.
To the point of where she has told me that she felt completely invisible in the relationship. Yeah, my response to her crying was screaming at her, which was bad, but my justification was, I am streaming right now. I can't have you like screaming and crying like in the house. You know, I told her to go basically stay with her mother, who lived like 5 minutes away. Instead of doing that, she got me kicked. Okay, so I'm like doing this thing where I'm like, you need to go to your mom's house. She's like, you know, fuck you. This is.
I'm zoning out. Nah. Anyway, okay. Instead, we're gonna do Now What by That Vegan Teacher. Wait. It's. Go into my history. You're telling me it's about to be good.
What's up? I don't think.
Let me control F screaming. Is this where we were?
Basically results in her screaming and crying that things are getting worse and that it's all my fault.
No, okay, he just loops.
I see her sitting on the couch,
Is it
like
this
screaming and crying, and I'm pissed off. Like, because like I'm trying to focus, you know, to get work done. And it felt like she was interrupting that. Now, here's the thing. What I want you to understand out of all of this, and remember how I said that it was all like, you know, it wasn't just this scenario happening, that this was like a long-term effect? Well, I was so obsessed with my work. I became like completely locked into that. To the point of where she has told me that she felt completely invisible.
I can see the ice cream truck. It's going away.
Yeah, my response to her crying was...
Choco Tacos are currently for sale in Dollar General in New York State. I'm wrong. I have bad news. I don't live in New York State.
Screaming at her.
I live in the United Kingdom.
Which was bad, but my justification was, I am streaming right now.
It matters not to me that somewhere in the world there are Choco Tacos. To me, they are unavailable, as far as I'm aware.
I can't have you like screaming and crying like in the house. You know, I told her to go basically stay with her mother, who lived like 5 minutes away. Instead of doing that, she got me kicked. Okay, so I'm like doing this thing where I'm like, you need to go to your mom's house. She's like, you know, fuck you, this is my house too. And I'm like, I pay all the bills. This is all important. This is all important. Trust me. I pay the bills for this entire place. You know, like, I'm keeping it up. You don't contribute shit to the
Keeping
equation.
it full mast.
Get out. She calls the cops on me.
Okay.
And they have me arrested for domestic violence. That is really where the story all starts. Like,
that's the start. Okay.
You know, I'm in a jail cell. This was like,
you're probably wondering how I got here.
There's like a clip of me that's like me talking about how I don't feel safe in my home, and then like an hour later I'm in jail.
This is like the most boring thing in the entire world. I can't listen to him. So instead, we're gonna look at an old vegan telling me about how my virginity was stolen. I can't listen to it. I can't be doing with it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Your vegan virginity.
Her skin looks like it would come off if you touched it.
Don't freak out.
Not her? You know about her? I don't know about her.
Your vegan virginity was stolen from you.
Sorry, chat, it's too late.
Don't freak out. I'm gonna explain it. Just look
All
at
right.
this for a second. It's your vegan virginity.
That's
okay? It's not your
huge.
sexual virginity.
Thanks for... I feel like you made it worse by specifying it's not that.
Vegan virginity. I'm gonna go over the lesson with you, but I want you to do something else, all right? And this is because a lot of people I've noticed from my TikTok lives do not know how to read. I know it might seem crazy to
Okay.
you, but they actually have a lot of trouble, and I'm talking full-grown adults, even at university level, have a hard time reading out loud. So we're gonna practice that while we're at it. After all,
The Pirate Software fan on Caleb Hammer. What is the relevance of them being a Pirate Software fan to them being on Caleb Hammer? I ask because does he pull up like a list of donos? How can I afford to live in this city? List of like, I spent $1 on a carrot. I spent 50 cents on a bottled water. $5,000 on donations to Pirate Software. Please help me budget.
I am an English teacher, okay? So I have some cards here for you. I want you guys to read out loud with me. Try it. Actually move your mouth, all right? We're going to learn why I say that you were born vegan. Okay, so this...
Okay, so the vegan virginity is that... So, it's going to be that our parents meat rape us. Right? The story is going to be our parents meat raping us, right?
This is card number 1. Let's read together. Why we say you were born vegan. You were born vegan. You never wanted to hurt animals.
Incorrect.
When you were little, if you were put in a room with a rabbit and a banana, it would never have occurred to you to bite the bunny.
Nonsense. Absolute fucking nonsense. There are videos all over social media of kids biting animals.
Your instinct would have been...
Like, it's its own sort of genre. Kids like being like, oh, look at the cute animal, here you go, hold the bunny, and then being like, ah, or like grabbing it.
To love and protect the rabbit, not harm her.
But not out of malice, because you don't have even that instinct. It's just fucking a baby that doesn't know anything, just reacting to stimuli without understanding.
When you were small, you played with toys that look like animals.
And put them in my fucking mouth.
And you loved to learn about them in books. Sadly, over time, you were brainwashed to pay people to murder and steal from animals instead of being taught to remain vegan. Thankfully, though, you can go back to your roots and be vegan again.
Murder and steal from.
Join us and make today
Non-human property rights.
your Happy Vegan Declaration Day. All right. So that's an example of a card that I use on my TikTok channel when I'm doing my lives. Now look at this, by the way, in case you're curious. See how that side's backwards? That's because everything's backwards, and when you guys are reading it from that side, I can read it from the other side. But there's more, all right, if I haven't convinced you yet. Now remember, while we're reading, think about the little bunny rabbit and think about you when you were little. If you had seen a bunny and a banana, how it never would have occurred to you to bite into the bunny. You know it, all right?
What do you mean you know it? It is what it is. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. No, I would have.
Now let's look again at now part 2, okay? Second card. I want you to continue to read out loud with me. You can do it. Number 2, why we say you were born vegan. The good news is that you can return to your roots and you can be vegan again. It's not your fault that your parents shoved dead body parts down your throat.
Do they genuinely not understand the optical issues with their rhetoric?
You trusted them and didn't know the difference between a mashed up carrot and a murdered cow. Your parents didn't know better. They just did what everyone else around them did. So don't waste time being angry with them.
Here we go.
Just teach them what you know now by watching important vegan documentaries together.
Important vegan documentaries. You just... It's like you're going out of your way to make it sound like a cult. Your articles of faith, man.
And Googling vegan recipes to share. And an example of a vegan documentary would be Cowspiracy, Seaspiracy, Dominion
Cowspiracy
Movement, What the Health, The Game Changers. There's a lot of them. All right? Also, make sure you subscribe to this channel to learn more. These are the videos everyone should watch. Dominion, Earthlings, Cowspiracy, Seaspiracy.
Fucking hell. What we got?
When we know better, we
Googling vegan recipes together.
Randomly generated username fed the streamer a 2-year-old
So what's the...
superberry. Babies depend on milk, not vegan. Checkmate.
I mean, I guess they'd argue it's consensual. Sniper Wolf, she will be vegan one day. Vegan dog eats broccoli in Italy. Why your religion sucks. It's not going to be circumcision. Cutting up babies, fine. Non-human animal, there's no way this lady has a problem with circumcision. Geometry Dash.
Sister Godiva fed the streamer
Thank you for the 50 sec.
Kroner superberry. Amberlyn Reed saw conspiracy. Her veganism lasted like half a day.
That's a win, right? If everyone's vegan for half a day, think of how many chickens will be saved. The what?
Hey, do you like my new carrots and hummus sweater? Carrots and hummus, they go together like meat and my carrots and hummus sweater. Carrots and...
I'm okay, thanks. Let's check out the RPG Elite. I'm so fucking sleepy, man.
Hey everyone, today we're getting ready to get into a...
Have you enjoyed today's stream? It's been like just a fucking car crash of me wanting to go to sleep. I'm barely alive. Barely.
A mini series within a series. Now, the main series is the American Negro experience in tabletop.
Here we go. Enough with the weak ass drama. Play games. I'd love to. I'd love to, but I can't, okay? It's not the time for it. It's not the time for it.
Top RPGs. Actually, it says the Negro experience, but I need to qualify it because that's specifically what I'm talking about here in America. So if you are across the pond and you're watching this, or across the border and you're watching this, you know what goes on there. I'm just telling you what's up here in the United States.
Gotcha.
And this is going to be a
because the US is really small, and you know, as your experience will be representative.
Multi-part series, because we have to get deep into this.
Get deep.
Where I came up with the idea for the video was from you guys, from reading the comments of my most popular video.
You were all misspelling Negro. You were trying to write it, but I deciphered that.
4 reasons why black people don't play tabletop RPGs. Now, you're going to hear me refer to black folks as Negroes because that's actually a better description of who we are. And I lay out why I'm saying Negro.
Okay.
Some of y'all will probably be saying, why does he keep saying that? Well, in my videos, The Myth of the White and the Black Race, 2-part series, I explain that in detail. So you'll be hearing
I forgot how good this guy was.
Negroes far more than you'll be hearing black. Now, as I was reading these comments from that video, I started to see this reoccurring theme. And the theme was another reason why black people don't play tabletop RPG. Kept coming up over and over again. And it was, well, it's because they're not represented in the tabletop RPG itself. And just to be sure here, we're not talking about around the table. We're not talking about Negroes around the table. That was in the last video, 4 reasons why black people don't play tabletop RPGs.
That's also the name of his podcast.
We're talking about represented in the actual game itself. That's what we're talking about when we talk about representation.
It's the sequel to Indian in the Cupboard.
And there were different nuances of this, but that was the general gist. The problem with that idea and the problem with that argument is that it doesn't hold any water whatsoever. None. And that is why we're going to spend several videos just cutting the legs off from under that faulty premise. Now, I understand. When you guys talk about this, I know it's from well-meaning people who were talking about that. As a matter of fact, in all the comments that I saw, and trust me, I did not read all of the comments, okay? We've got, I don't know, over 2,500 comments or something like that on that video. Okay.
Yep.
I didn't read all of them. Well, the ones that I read that mentioned that, it was from Caucasian folks. I think I
love the Caucasian pop-up emphasis.
I've seen one that was from a Negro.
Interesting selection.
But the vast majority of them was from Caucasian folks. And I know that you guys are well-meaning. I get it. Because you've been sold that bill of goods and you've been drinking that Kool-Aid. And even though you are well-meaning in that, you're not thinking.
Hearing someone say Caucasian reminds me, you know, with the Redskins team, with the cartoon of the Native American, and people on social media tried to be like, look at this, well, I made a Caucasian's shirt. How do you feel about that, white boy? And it's like, I feel like I'd still be called racist for that one. I feel like I'd be called a white supremacist for wearing that. Like, I'm not offended by it, and
this is what this series is going to be about. The other side that actually thinks through that faulty argument and stomps it into the ground because it needs to be. Now, this might be your first time coming to the channel, and you're wondering, what is up with this dude? What is he talking about? Well, first,
You could have said, what is up with this something else that I'm not allowed to say in that context.
you need to go to those other videos that I talked about. But before you do that, let me welcome you here to this place. This is RPG Elite. This is where we put the RP back into RPG.
Yep, hell yeah.
And how do we do that? Giving you tools, tips, tutorials, and just what we're doing here today. That real talk about the tabletop
You know it's real
RPG,
because it popped up
space
on
and culture,
screen.
talking about things that ain't nobody talking about. I don't know if anybody's talking about this stuff. I know people have said to me in my last videos and in those other videos that I've done, they said, ain't nobody talking about this. All right.
They're
I'll talk about
scared.
this.
They're
And I know
scared.
some of you are like, well, you know, if I were to talk about it and I'm a white dude, I'd get this, that, and the third. I
Actually, yes, true.
get you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
get. That's another video actually, because that's a false premise too. You can talk about it. You can. Don't let no one sell you that
No,
silly.
like, you'll literally get your shit deleted. If I talked like you talk, I could do it, but then it would get removed by the platform.
Bill
That's not really being able to do it.
of goods. Don't.
Also, I don't talk like
But
that.
I
anyway,
digress.
So whatever.
We're gonna move on here today, and we're going to debunk this lie. It is a lie.
Oh.
And I know, again, I'm going to repeat it.
I mean, it looks like the ball and chain. The ball part is already at the bottom. That's some pretty shallow water. I mean, it's going to be hard to walk around, but it's not that dangerous.
Uncle Servant in the hizzy, and he coming off strong. Yes, I am. Number one, because this is a lie. Number two, you should be thinking through this stuff. You're grown enough to do that. But I do love y'all, which is why I'm coming off with the tough love in this video. And I know that there's going to be some people who disagree. Disagree, not on the basis of facts, because you know that's what I'm laying out, but we'll disagree on the basis of feeling, which is the problem. That right there is the issue. Now, if you're looking to see this every week, you ain't going to get it, okay? This is just one video in a series. I usually come out like once a month. And I know some of you come here for the classic tabletop RPG stuff or the tips or, you know, the commentary. Well, I'm just telling you ahead of time, and you probably already know if you're part of the channel, that I come out with commentary videos only when it's relevant to my agenda and what I want to do with this
Sure.
channel. And
Gotcha.
I
Just do it, though.
Have an agenda.
Just do it.
I keep it 100. Know what I mean? I am not trying to hide anything. WYSIWYG, folks. There is an agenda.
What the?
I am not trying to hide anything. WYSIWYG.
What you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. There we go.
Folks,
I don't have a.
there is an agenda. And this
WYSIWYG.
subject happens to be a part of the agenda. It just is. So we are going to talk about this probably in the next couple of months. I'm thinking it might be 3 parts.
Yeah, the rate you're going here, it will be a couple of months.
I'm thinking. I don't know, but from what I've written out in the script, looks like 3 videos on this. So let's get into this today, and we're going to look first at the 2 legs that this false premise stands on.
Okay.
We're just going to chop them right down right now.
Floor 1. Just incredible.
So the first one is anime. Now, how does anime have anything to do with tabletop RPGs? Well, it actually has to do with the whole argument of representation, more so than tabletop RPGs. Let me explain. I've also seen in the comments, and I know this to be the truth, that black folks flock to anime.
I'm not going to start saying WYSIWYG because I'll be tempted to say WYSIWYG my, and then I'll get in trouble. Black people are really dangerous because they're always saying shit that will get you in trouble if you say it. And if you listen to them enough, you'll just start naturally like copying them, and then you're in fucking danger.
More than tabletop RPGs. They're going over there and I'm not one of them because I don't like anime. But there are a lot of Negroes who flock to anime. Now, listen, folks. Have you ever seen anime?
If I'm around someone who's saying N this, N that, my N, I'm gonna start saying it. Just without thinking.
That's Japanese, by the way. And there's little to no representation of Negroes in anime.
Have you seen Dragon Ball Z?
Therefore, it can't be representation based on that. And because of that, it cuts the leg out from under the premise that, well, it's because they're not represented. No, they're not represented over there, and yet you got black folks rushing over there. Well, there's another one, though, that has to do directly with tabletop RPGs.
Oh. Have you read the Player's Handbook for 5th edition? The Warrior is Black? In the official art? In the official basic art?
There's already representation in tabletop RPGs. Has been for quite a long while now. So when we are looking at the games that have been coming up, the representation is there. Let me give you an example. Numenera. Numenera has on the cover a Negro.
You don't need to change this much to turn it into the most hateful video of all time.
Light skin, but is a Negro. On the cover, inside is some beautiful artwork. That game is gorgeous, by the way. And there are Negroes all over the place in that game.
Re-upload this as my review of basketball.
And yet we don't see this mass influx of Negroes wanting to play Numenera.
Oh.
Now, why is that?
They're self-hating.
Some of the other games, Cyberpunk, Shadowrun, they're there too. So what's going on? I mean, Numenera came out in like 2013 or something. So we're going on a decade of this. Now you could say, oh, but there are more Negroes that are coming into tabletop RPGs. Yes, but correlation does not imply causation in this case. Because we've already seen over in anime that there are a disproportionate amount of Negroes who are flock over there, but still don't flock to tabletop RPGs, even though there's representation in tabletop RPGs. The argument falls on its face. But there is one reason that nobody's brought up.
Oh.
And they haven't brought it up because, again, there hasn't been any
I'm going to be disappointed if he just repeats things he said before, if he brings up culture.
kind of deep thinking about it. And this falls...
You know it's deep because he put thinking on the screen.
Under, I would say, in a broad general
Makes you
sense,
double think.
ignorance in my 4 reasons why black people don't play tabletop RPGs video.
Okay.
You might even say that this is a reason in and of itself.
Stop. Bro, you can't make a video about why black people don't get into tabletop and then pop up the problem of reading on this screen.
The Negro culture in America,
bro,
they don't read. Just don't read. It's not something that is a part of the culture. And it is sad. Now, you might be saying, well, what does that have to do with tabletop RPGs? I'll get to that in a second. Not only do they don't read, they don't do math. Let's look at the facts, folks. This is from the National Assessment of Educational Progress, which is part of the Department of Education here.
Nick Fuentes is getting replaced by RPG Elite. I said earlier he could have been the biggest voice in anti-woke gaming, But he couldn't because he's too radical. He's actually too red-pilled for that.
United States. These are the facts. And we're talking about the
Like, he's too extreme.
Negro community here, okay? Here in America. 84% of black students lack proficiency in mathematics. And 85% of black students lack proficiency in reading skills. I mean, let me tell you about the states. Let's just go from a couple of the states and the statistics for the Negro community in America when it comes to reading and mathematics. In New York,
We need more resources for public schooling so that black people will play D&D.
New York, the numbers are 85% and 82% respectively. In Illinois, it's 86% and 85%.
Illinois D&D.
In Texas, the numbers are 84% and 89%. Maryland sits at 86% for math and 80% for reading. And
Okay.
in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., numbers?
Thanks for informing me what that is.
85% for math and 87% for reading. It said that they are functional illiterates and can't do math.
Please. It's really funny, but I feel like I'm in so much danger.
Let's go back to the question that I asked earlier. What does this got to do with tabletop RPGs? Everything.
Yeah, of course.
When you set down a book, which is what a tabletop RPG is,
for showing me,
and you have to do basic math in over 90% of tabletop RPGs, and you bring this into the Negro community with these numbers?
Devastating black communities with 5th edition. As long as it's just like a small number, you can teach them verbally. Oral tradition.
You're going to get droves of folks who are not interested because, well, you have to do a little bit of math and a little bit of reading. And when you're setting down tomes, I'm talking about books that are thick, like Numenera is a great example. Monty Cook Games just came out with a game called Ptolus. That's like over 700 pages.
Ptolus?
You put that in front of somebody who...
That's not even AI, that's someone smashing their fist on a keyboard, dude. Ptolus? Come on. Are you sure it's not Ptolus?
Doesn't know how to read or do math, all you're seeing is on their faces deer in headlights. This is a scary prospect for them. They might even have an interest in it, but now you're talking about them having to do something that they're not able to do. And you know what's funny about the Negro community?
You can't drop that line. You're putting me in danger, dude. That's like the start of a... If Seinfeld was a comedian in Nazi Germany, you know what's funny about the N community?
There are Negroes who actually read and community.
Hang on.
That they're not able to do. And you know what's funny about the Negro community? If there are Negroes who actually read and know how to do math, well, then we are said to be trying to be white. I ain't lying. It's like stupidity is lifted up.
No joke.
In the
No
Negro
joke at all.
community. And those of you who are Negroes know exactly what I'm talking about. You know it. Oh, you trying to be, you know, if you have some intelligence and read a book or you know how to do this stuff or speak proper, oh man, well, you must be trying to be white. Get out of here with that nonsense.
I think this is the
I'm
bit.
not trying to be white.
I think this is the bit he does in every video. It's like classic. It's classic. I've seen many people say this and complain about this, but this is like his looping thing.
I'm trying to be intelligent. You must be trying to be stupid if that's the case. Come on. Do you even hear what you're saying when you say that stupidity? Do you even hear what you're saying when you say that nonsense? That makes no sense whatsoever. And yet, we have that.
Bros, I just had a video removed from my channel today. I didn't get a strike though. They emailed me and they were like, "You've had a warning before, but we're not giving you a stroke for that." You know my one about like pedophiles infiltrating social media? That got removed, but they didn't give me a strike.
Across the board. It's not something that's inculcated. It's a generational curse that gets
30 minutes after my last upload.
passed down from generation to generation. And it has to do mainly with the education system. Because the education system here in the United States, in the public schools, they're not interested in
Epstein's
education
revenge.
per se. Education should be teaching you how to think. Those of you who have seen...
As opposed to what to think, sure. But in a vacuum, that line sounds horrendous.
past commentary videos that I talk about thinking a lot.
And like, the Bitty Cat videos that got removed, I get it, because even though like the material in it is just writing and people talking about stuff, it is still like really fucked things they were saying and really fucked voice acting. The one that got removed today, there's nothing. Maybe I'm misremembering. I don't believe there's anything obscene in it.
Because that is what is lacking.
I mean, obviously there are pedophiles in it, which is obscene, but no, nothing explicit in it. Like, not even writing. I think.
And the education system has failed the Negro community here in the United States. And it's failed the Negro community because...
Sure, there's no correlation towards the strange laws being passed in the UK. That's what I said to someone on Twitter. Like, I wonder if it's like... The child protection clampdown means... Even though it doesn't feature and doesn't talk about kids, because it's talking about pedophiles who are after kids, right? Maybe more of that stuff's gonna get nailed just for them trying not to fall foul of legislation, right?
It doesn't teach students how to think. This is not education that's going on. See, because instead of teaching kids how to think,
look. What they need is discipline. You need basic... If we're talking about basic reading ability, it's not teach them how to think. Drill them. They need to be drilled, surely. That's the core thing. If the problem is you can't fucking read, you don't need a philosophy course.
Teach kids what to think. And folks, that goes from education...
He's regurgitating. Teach kids how to think, not what to think. We're talking about them not being able to fucking read, dude.
To indoctrination. And that's why we've got these numbers. They don't know how...
Teaching a kid to read is technically literally indoctrination. And that's fine.
How to think.
In that instance.
And so we are...
Like, do you want to teach kids to question how reading works? Question how the letters should be pronounced and vocalized, and what sounds they relate to. What do you mean?
Raising up functional illiterates, and these people are graduating. I used to have a Bible study in my home, all college students, and they're all Negroes. And this was way back in the day, years.
Is that AI gen? Because what I think that beer was meant to be, what I think is meant to be beer, just looks straight up like piss.
Years ago. But I remember I would talk to them, and I'm thinking to myself, these are college students, right? You guys know this stuff, right? So I would...
Like, in the case of reading, you're essentially imparting a form of doctrine by rote.
Talk to them and use words. And they would look at me like deer in headlights and be like, "You're talking over our heads." And I would be like, I am? How am I talking over your head? You are in college. I'm using words that you should know from high school. And I'm talking over your head? My first question was, how in the world did you get into college? How did that happen? I can tell you how that happened, but of course, that's another thing.
Okay.
But when it comes to tabletop RPGs, it could be maybe that they're just intimidated by the whole fact that you have to do math and you have to do reading. They just don't know how. And they don't know how, not because they can't, just because they won't.
You know the killer counterpoint to this, right? You know what massacres this point, right? You can learn it all off YouTube.
I mean, you ask young Negroes, hey, what is it what you want to do when you grow up? They want to be a YouTuber. They want to be a rapper. They want to be in sports. Those are probably the top 3 right there.
If they were really interested, they'd learn it from YouTube. They might learn it wrong and do the dice wrong, but they would if they wanted to. The intimidation factor of there being books, I don't think it applies. I don't think it applies these days.
Doctor? Engineer? Some in the computers? Well, yeah, well, not so much. It's not that they're non-existent. They're out there, but small numbers. Why? Because everybody else wants to be something else that ain't got nothing to do with reading and nothing to do with math, even though those things actually do have something to do with reading and math.
How are you going to be on YouTube if they can't read? Have you seen the average YouTuber?
But they won't find that out until later, and they have to settle for things. And so when it comes to their hobbies, right? And you're talking about tabletop RPGs, and you have to, as a hobby, read and do some basic arithmetic, of course, you're gonna get drove of Negroes not wanting to do that. So we're just getting started here. And those are the facts. Those are things that we actually have to think about, even though some of that stuff may make us feel uncomfortable, but that's just the way that it is. Now, obviously, you have your outliers. I'm obviously an outlier, right?
I'm one of the good ones.
Do anime.
I'm one of the good ones.
And I'm a guy who likes to read. Look, behind me, there is a bookcase. There are actually books in there that I have read and do read. I have over 500.
I love the book graphic.
600 books.
500 confirmed reads.
Here in my house. My mom used to, as a punishment, take away my books. She used to drive me insane. I hated it. She used to take away my books when I was acting up. Today, that being a thing? Nah, heck no. I know that there's going to be some people, regardless of what has been laid out in this video, who will continue to say, it's representation, it's representation. Okay. Now, those people are doing that for a reason. They don't realize that
the white liberals are trying to convince black people that they don't need to read when they do need to read so they can play D&D.
When they do that, that they are doing nothing but hurting Negroes every time that they say that. And I'm going to get into that in the next video in this series. Question of the vid is this, and this is specifically for those of you who are in minorities or are Negroes, and this could be anywhere, or Latino or anything else. When it comes to
what are you other fucking weirdos, you know?
Tabletop RPGs, how important was it that you were represented in the tabletop RPG? On a scale of 1 to 10, race, representation in...
What do we have here?
First one.
Sure. Trait 2 is condescension or whatever. What is trait 3? I need to know. Weakness.
Of all...
Okay. Let's see if there's... We're not going to do the Peppa Pig pronatalism. Twitch anti-botting is interesting. Twitch anti-botting. Ah! Fuck me! I can't stop looking, but I'm going to throw up. The nose? No! Look at that finger! Holy fuck. Okay. Birds can store data. Modern masculinity and the critical drinker. You're using fantasy races wrong. Okay.
Greetings, mortals, and welcome to Tabletop Sandbox, where we talk about all things TTRPG. I, of course, am the hot Matt Colville, also known as Harrison Tarr. Today...
Harrison Tard. Lead actor in Indiana Jones.
We're talking about race. I come to you as a white man to tell you that the way that you view race is wrong. Race in fantasy, that is. Have you ever considered what exactly is the point of having multiple intelligent races in a fantasy setting? Is there a point? Are these races differentiated from each other in a way that is meaningful besides their disparate cultures? Are we all just following in Papa Tolkien's footsteps? Is there a point?
They should
Are they
be.
differentiated? Or are elves merely humans with pointy ears? In certain
Yeah, that's lame as hell.
modern fantasy, such as the new Witcher series that I have had the privilege of not watching, I'm told that elves are merely humans with pointy ears. If
Yes, it fucking sucks shit when they are. Yeah.
races have no difference from each other in their fundamental relationship to the world, then having different races is meaningless.
It's not meaningless, but like it's not fun. It's not cool.
Fantasy is a genre that allows us to play with simple archetypes. You can have a big bad evil guy who's just evil. They don't all need to have complex motivations.
True.
Maybe he's just a necromancer
Is this just tabletop affirmations?
who wants to rule the world. You can have heroes who are just as good as they say they are. You can have anti-heroes and people with gray morality.
It's just him telling me I'm allowed to do stuff? Is it affirmations?
If that's what's fun for you, but they don't have to be. In addition to this, you can have intelligent races that are completely and irredeemably
Yeah, I know. What
if
is
you
this?
so choose. The goblins, orcs, and dark elves in your
Is there gonna
world
be a butt?
can all be irredeemably, holistically evil. No exceptions. That is a thing you are allowed to do in fantasy.
Yeah.
Why would we do this? Because it allows for our players to be heroes.
Or because I think it's neat. Sometimes it's just neat.
It allows
Sometimes it just suits them.
players to face an intelligent enemy just as cunning as they are and kill them without remorse, without
The same thing happens in real life when someone vapes on me in the bus.
feeling guilt because they are irredeemably evil. People want to be heroes. They want to lay waste.
What is...
And then them to be more
Fuck
resistant
me.
to the
What else we got? Two dead after quadruple stabbing? That's only a 50% kill rate. Worst knifeman ever. BBC letter. Okay. Gen Z can't stop faking disorders. AI music epidemic. James Somerton can't stop? Oh, it's Crispy. Does he just do old dramas? I don't care about that one. I appreciate Crispy for giving me a chance to talk about the Adam Coble stuff, but what else we got? Hard truths for young musicians. You cannot play in time. True, 99% of the time. You're ready
The
to
thing
dismantle.
about being a trans person is that when you exist in a world full of cis people, it can be really hard to carve out a space in your own mind, even, where you feel like you are attractive and you can be like the image of beauty, or the image, you know, literally like a sex symbol, right? But it's interesting because it's like a lot of trans people are also fetishized, so it's like, yes.
You're gonna say that and then not touch on AGP? That's like intro to AGP, surely.
We're technically sex symbols, but not really in the way that we should be or we want to be. I'm just gonna have to be okay with the fact that there's like a bajillion people here.
Yeah, because you went outside. What the fuck?
And so how do you find yourself attractive or lovable? How do you practice self-love?
I'm not attracted to myself. I'm not gay. What do you mean find yourself attractive?
You know, and how do you cherish yourself when the only examples of what is attractive...
I don't cherish myself. I just am a me. What the you don't need to. You just be you. Just be. This always fucks me up. Like, what do you mean?
Is specifically cis beauty. All of this comes down to internalized cis supremacy and internalized transphobia. Big buzzletter words. How do we unpack them? That is what I've been really sitting with, right?
Whoa.
And I'm writing an ebook about queerness and gender queerness and facets of it.
I'll be sure to read it.
And this is one of the topics that I've been really sitting with. In mainstream media, it's mostly cis representation. It's mostly
Wonder
cis
why.
people as the main characters of a love story. And if they are trans, they're usually binary, binary trans people. And if they're non-binary, they're usually an alien, right? Depending on what kind of media you're into, I highly recommend consuming more queer, genderqueer, like literature and media and books, movies, TV shows.
And you are also releasing such a project. Product. I guess it is a project as well. Okay. Holy fucking shit. That's brutal as hell. Well, it looks like he saved his girlfriend. That is a real big price to pay. That is a huge price to pay. I'd do it for Lucky Bee, but to be honest, if I got burnt, like basically he just look at the after and the before. They basically just put a like make him look like me Instagram filter on him.
Sister Godiva
So
fed the streamer a 50 Swedish kronor superberry. This fab is one of the most passing I have ever seen.
AFAB. Assigned femoid at birth. What do we have going on here? Trans grief. You shouldn't click on a trans video. Look what it does to your feed. That's the old nerd cubed. I'll check WPC and then I'll fuck off. Whoopuk. Whoopuk badass. On Ramazan's birthday. Great time at the band. There's nothing here. Let's check the posts. Just Taylor Glore. Shop POV doesn't have anything new. I think I'm going to fuck off until Friday. This has been the worst stream ever. Go watch my video. Go watch my video. I'm getting YouTube raped. It has a fucking 20% click-through rate. But no one's... Ah! Anyway. I will see you all on Friday. I'll see you all on Friday. I hope you found the stream tolerable. Friday will be much more fun, I'm sure. Friday, I'll have something fun for Friday. Until then, good night. Sleep tight. Don't let Brad Taste punch your wife.